Yo, what up? This is Mac Ty.
And I'm Shak, and this is the Mac and
Shaq
Shaq show.
podcast. It's the podcast, bro.
Yeah, podcast.
We got special guest today, RAZ Simone. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, y'all?
The mob's in the house.
Ma.
Man,
Yeah. It's lovely out here, man.
it
We wanted
is.
to bring you into the show. We see you've been working for a minute now. Talk about the weed. Talk about these new projects you've been dropping. Got some. First of all, tell the people where you from, bro.
I'm from Seattle. Yeah,
Seattle,
from out this way.
Born and raised, because in your songs you be talking about Atlanta a lot, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I spent some time out that way, and you know, all around Atlanta, New York, you know,
Right.
Detroit, like just everywhere. But no, town. That's where I'm from.
Hell yeah. That's what's up, bro.
Yeah, you with Higher Music, right? Where's that out of? What's that about?
Higher, that is a company that is the homie, me and the homie Jay Park and Cha Cha. That's something that we've been doing. You got Avatar on there. He's from my neighborhood, my block, and everything. Yeah, you got Faye Reds, singer. You got Jarv D, you know, other homie. A couple other cats from the town, and then you got cast from Korea, you know. So it's like a whole thing that we've been picturing for a couple years. We're just bridging the gap between the Korean artists that are doing their thing, popping up, blowing up in that realm over there, right. You know, with the K hip hop and K-pop, yep. And then bridging that gap with the, you know, cats in Seattle, and you know, Jay being one of those conduits, a guy that was born out here, but you know, moved out there. He's Korean American, right. But he's out there. He's been out there for, you know, the last decade. So he's like super Korean now as well. You know?
I feel it.
He got it in, you know. So then it was one of those things. But he wanted to come back and connect with, you know, the town and the culture and everything. And so, you know, he popped up in my inbox. I was like, who is this cat? Like, nigga got like a million something. You know?
Right.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, what's going on, bro? Oh my God, I was just listening to your shit. It's fire. And I'm like, who the fuck is this cat that's, you know, got a couple million, and he's from, and it says Seattle on his shit. You know, it says from Seattle to Seoul. I'm like, who is this guy? And I don't know him in Seattle. I was like, oh, hell no. You know, so then he's like, man, I got this show, come link. I'm like, all right, well, I'm out of town at this show, but I'm getting back, you know, in the night. So, you know, I pull up on you, So I pull up on him, and, you know, it was good money. He was really trying to get back and connect, you know. So it's been a good thing because, you know, while he can connect in with us, you know, everybody in the town that doesn't know him can get familiar with him, you know, through good people like myself and you know, having jar people that have been putting it in for a minute, putting the work, and then we can also go out there and connect with all the fans that are out that way. And the thing is, like, when it comes to Korean music, the fans do not stop in Korea at all.
Right, I was just about to ask.
They're all over
How's
the place.
Vibe out there? Is it a little different than the U.S.?
Yeah, the vibe out there is definitely different. You know, I mean, you got to think of Korea. I mean, all the way up until around the 80s or something like that, like 90s. You know, really. Everything was very, very, very just like just Korean. Not even, you know, like just like they have a thing out there where it's like where part of the culture where it's like be the same, you know. So and I can't remember I don't remember like in the language how it is, but how it was told to me is like don't like step out the box, don't look weird when you're in public or when you're this. You want to like everything, you want to keep the order and kind of be the same, you know. Yep. And so you see that culturally as well. So the first, you know, their first experience of things that were non-Korean was like military and stuff, you know. So then it's like, damn, you know. So before that, it was just a bunch of, you know, Korean people that are out there, and that was it. That's all they seen. It's, you know, damn near like you go to North Korea and they still like that. You know, that's all it is, you know. And they kept that closed off, and I guess that's a part of the reason why they have a bunch of that war too. Is, you know, he wants to do it one way, and they're shifting another way. The government is so involved in music that they put when they started a K-pop up like back in the day in the whatever it's 90s or whatever. I mean, don't quote me on that, but when they started it up, the government dedicated that they would allow 2% of the government to K-pop, to that. So it is like a big government effort. They're like, we're gonna treat this like a commodity, like a trade, you know, like a whatever, and this is gonna be a way where we're gonna boom up, you know. So they really invested, like very, very invested in K-pop, and then that transcends into K-hip hop and you know all the other forms, you know, that it takes and stuff like that. But so they're very invested in the music, which can be great and can be bad at points as well. You know, you got places where, you know, contracts where people are getting treated like slaves and things like that, you know, but I mean, that's anywhere, I guess. But
do you feel like that the fact that they doing like different things like the hip hop, you know, and the K-pop, you feel like they breaking through that gap of being like the same? Because the cats you be with on higher music is like they hella flamboyant, like they got the different clothes, they the glasses, and they really like flexing.
So they're already definitely breaking that down. That one of the reasons why I wanted, you know, I even was receptive to Jay when he was trying to build with me was like, well, for one, you're coming to me, you're coming at me, you see what we're doing, and you're trying to plug in, you know, as opposed to trying to keep us out or trying to, you know, move around or some shit like that, you know. So that was good. That's one, like, okay, I see you, you know. Two, he carried himself like a boss, like he's supposed to, where, you know, and I'm talking about a real boss, not someone that's shouting like I'm a boss,
right?
Someone that's just being that, trying to make sure all their people are fed and trying to and being, you know, talking to me, not talking to me aggressively, just talking to me regularly. You know, like coming at me respectfully and telling me, you know, telling me all the great things that he sees me doing, you know, and so that's just like, that's what I see. Those are qualities you see in a boss. You're supposed to be able to like watch everything around, you know, connect with the people that are under you, over you, to the side of you, whatever it is, you know. So that, and then the other thing was that he was moving the culture out there, you know, and he was, you know, trying to be on that for real. Like he's one of the first cats out there, you know, having tattoos, and that's a big thing. You know what I mean, and not on some like, that's like a big thing to do, because when you put some tattoos on your skin out there and you wear them, you could lose your career. You know, like it's a little bit different than out here where it's like, you know, cats put tattoos on their skin to try to get their career going. You know what I mean? So like. So it was one of the things, like they did all special on and everything like that. It's even illegal to get tatted out there. Like, you know, they don't have tattoos. Well, they do have tattoo shops, but they're like underground. You know, it's like that.
Okay.
You know,
like bootleg tattoos or something.
You know, like it has to be
They probably dope, but
I'm not knocking it
because it's illegal. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's not technically illegal to have tattoos on you because you could have got it anywhere.
It's just illegal
because we
to
travel
get
now. But it's you know, so little things like that. That was a big. You know, there's lots of different subjects that they want that like K-pop will not touch with a 30-yard stick. You know what I mean? Like they want because it's like politics. You know, with politics, there's certain things you're not gonna talk on. Like or like, you know, don't bring politics or religion to the table. It could offend people. You know, we want to make sure that we can lightly pander to everyone.
They don't got
the
freedom of speech we got
music
over there.
Yeah, because when you're doing something, you're in that vein. It's popular music. So, you know, not even just the freedom of speech like that, but just on some. When you're trying to make money and you're making popular music, that's what it is. You got to make sure that it's popular by all, you know? So let's say, you know, I'm in a school and I start talking about, man, I hate gay people. I hate niggas, bro. Black niggas especially. You know what I mean? Like, I hate women. Like, that's not going to be very popular, you know? And that's like the grossest, like, whatever description, you know? But if I just start talking about anything deep, or if I start being like, man, I start talking about depression, or I start talking about, you know, whatever it is, somebody might be like, man, that's too heavy for me. I don't want to hear that today. Or I start talking about this, I'd be like, oh, man, that's too much, you know? And so there's certain things that they want to stay in. You know, that's why when you hear most pop music, it's like, you know, it's usually light, maybe talking about a relationship a little bit, not get too sexual, but give it a little sexual overtone. You know what I mean? And like they be doing very strategic things, like little sexual undertones and stuff like that, that'll get like a prepubescent, like
low key subliminal,
like, you know, kind of get them like, ooh, feeling a little tingly. But then they don't want to go like fully in, so it's some weird stuff, you know what I mean? But anyway, so, but they don't want to talk about too much stuff. So like with him, he was like, he still made songs that were very sexual. That was like, that's like taboo, you know, over there, they're not trying to touch that. They're not really trying to go. They're trying to take the elements of the R&B and the elements of the pop, but not, you know, but not really go to the R&B. Exactly. They're not trying to bump and grind.
How's that affect like y'all's music together? Because your shit's real deep,
dog. Like, and that's what I'm saying. So that's why he is leaps and bounds ahead of things and really trying to push the culture forward. For him to even reach out and for him to hop on the track with me, where I'm talking about. You know, I'm talking about a lot of things. I'm talking about, you know, getting into little black belts or you know, whatever little, you know, whatever thing it is. Like I talk about a lot of different things. He had me on this album, and I'm talking about a lot of different things, you know. And so that's already just, you know, crazy to be able to be like, all right, we're gonna showcase this and then go in on this, you know. So that's the reason why I mess with him, because he's trying to push it forward instead of just staying in the box. You know, he understands, you know, there's certain lines he got to walk to make things work and to make sure that he's being heard, but he's gonna try and push the line on it, you know. And I'm pushing the line fully, so you know, so it's like we're going all the way. And so you know, so that's one of those things. And then also, you know, being able to help influence that music and influence the culture around it. You know, you have a lot of people that really love the music and love the people behind it, and it's a good amount of love, But and then you also have people that are super obsessed and can kind of take it to another you know, place or whatever, you know. And I was just talking to someone about this too. I've talked to a lot of people where I just want to make sure people that are sound, you know, people are sound. You know, I'm always I'm looking at the way this hits someone's brain. You know, if you have another reason, like where I'm always trying to shoot out for the underdog. So you know, with tapping into the K-pop, the Korean music, it's like that. You know, I'm thinking like, damn. When I look at the representation, you got a good thing going on right now. You guys got a lot of money coming in, you got a lot of fans, but still don't have proper representation when it comes to, like, you know, media. When it comes to, like, think about Hollywood, like what kind of Asian, you know, what kind of anything.
You don't see it.
You know, the only thing you're gonna see is some like goofy, stupid, smart guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, so I'm always shooting for the underdog. You don't gotta be a black person. Like, I've never been like that. You know what I mean? I'm pro underdog, you know, when it comes to it. So
everyone gotta eat. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
for sure. And, you know, I got family, you know, everywhere. My family's all types of things, you know, so it's like, it don't even matter. It's all the same. But I want to make sure that people feel empowered about themselves. You know, I don't want you being whatever you were. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you are, well, let's say you're a Hawaiian or whatever. I don't want you hating that you're Hawaiian and looking and just worshiping a black man and wishing that you could be a black man. Or, you know, or you
got to feel like you can do it as yourself.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you being a blonde hair white dude or something like that and just hating it, you know, and just wishing that you could be Mexican dude. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna be good for your psyche, for your anything. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna be good for your offspring. That's not gonna be good for the people around you. But your soul, it's not good at all. You know?
Right at all.
And the only thing that scares me, I see a lot of great fans that tap into all types of music and everything, and really, and I can see that they love themselves. But I've seen also a lot of fans that are starting out really young, and they're looking at this, you know, this K-pop or whatever other pop it is, whether it's like Justin Bieber or, you know, or a K-pop artist over here, and that person looks nothing like them, and they start hating themselves because they can never be like that. They can never look like that. They can never, you know, have that, and because they're from Nigeria, and they're, you know, they look exactly opposite when it comes to, like, you know, stupid aesthetic things that people look at and shit like that.
You know what this reminds me of? Mali Mob. Mali Mob is an African. You don't see a lot of Africans in the rap game, and he's just like, feel like he's just blowing up. He just don't care what nobody think. He just in his own zone. He pay attention to what he do, and that's him. That's all he can be, and he puts that out there for everybody to see, and that shit's inspiring. Like, it don't matter how, like, you know, wild he may be or whatever. As long as he's himself, he's still showing people like, yo, this is the way. You're over here fronting. You know, you can do this shit yourself. You know, I think a lot of music nowadays is like super deep, emotional, and I think a lot of it got to do with the fact that, you know, like mental health and, you know, all that shit's getting super deep because the world is a little crazy, right? You know, it's been getting crazier and crazier every year. So people like, you know, I gotta express it, or they hold it in and end up killing themselves, or, you know, anything. You know, some deep shit happen that don't need to really happen when people just be themselves. When you got people like RAZ pushing that line, that's when that shit happens, and people start making good music like you guys got, like Jay Parks in there, you know, on the Out of Bounds song speaking Korean. Nobody hear what he's saying, but he's being himself.
Yeah,
first.
And I wanted him to do. I said, bro, go ahead.
Go ahead, bro. That shit be flowing. I was like, okay. I was like, okay, bro.
You just a lot of people stress about stuff that's out of their control.
Right.
You can't stress about that. You know what I mean? Like, I was really hard headed when I was young, but my mom always told me that, like, don't ever stress about something that's out of your control, because you ain't gonna never achieve what you want because it's not achievable.
You focus on something else.
Yeah, no, definitely. So that's the only thing, and being able to you know, to push that, because a lot of people get locked in there like, I only listen to K-pop, I only like this, I only watch Korean shows and things like that, and you know, they're a white girl, you know, or a black girl or whatever, and I'm like, that's great, and I love that you're connecting with this culture. But I hope that you respect the culture while you're doing it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Which a lot of people do, but not always. I hope that you respect the culture, and I also hope that you recognize that there's so much other culture out there as well.
Exactly.
There's so many other countries that are out that way in Asia, Eurasia, Europe. You know, there's so many other countries. There's so many other, you know, so many other footprints you can fit. How many, like 7 or 8 Americas in Africa? There's so
Right.
many places out
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
There's so many countries in Africa.
So many
you know what I mean?
different
Like
languages
in
and all that.
Africa and all these other places. Like, go tap in. There's so many of these little islands out around there. Like, go tap in. There's so much beautiful culture everywhere. You know,
They treat it like it's a well. You know what I mean? Like they look up,
That's the only
and that's the only thing that they can see.
but that's what happens with obsession.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, I mean, I've had girls that are obsessed with me. I've seen people obsess over other things. You know, and it's not healthy, but sometimes it can look healthy. Sometimes it can just look like extra love, and that's why you receive it. You're like, whoa, that's beautiful. Like, I love that they're tapping into this culture. I love they're tapping into, you know, I love that they're tapping in, and they're really trying to show that they care about me. Da 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 da.
Right.
But a lot of times, you know, they say there's a fine line between love and hate,
Yeah.
and I say it's not even that. There's just this line, and it's called obsession, and it can look like love or hate. And then sometimes it can look like both. I love you so much, I gotta kill you.
You're right.
You know, that John Lennon type stuff. You know what I mean? So like, or you know, so it's just like, really just kind of, it's all about that mental and trying to make sure that people really love themselves and that they can step back and, you know, and I know that the obsession can creep up, but if you can try and step back and, you know, even it out and open your eyes a bit, you know. I mean, we were just talking about it just last night, like late night, early morning or whatever with the bro. We were talking about people, what was it? We were talking about how sometimes people, I feel like everyone should be able to travel, just like, you know, at an early age, because a lot of times people, once they get out and they travel, they're like, oh my goodness, what have I been doing this whole time?
Prime example, bro. I'm
So-
a military brat from the Massachusetts, lived in Georgia, high school in Alaska, graduated in Missouri, traveled through 41 states, bro. So
Nice.
I already know what you're saying though. You see all different type of cultures, all different type of people, and it like changes your outlook on life when you get older.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When you're
'cause-
younger, you might be like, man,
Right,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
He be telling me all about it, and I don't have that experience. I ain't never really been nowhere. Like when I was, you know, lived in Georgia for like a year. I was too young to really remember that shit.
Yeah.
And I've been here my whole life, you know. So when I be
Gotcha.
going places, like I've been to like Reno and California,
Yeah.
Oregon.
Yep.
And I've been to Detroit too. But just seeing it and then being like, damn, like it's a whole nother world in
Yeah,
a different state.
Yeah.
This is just in the same country. I could imagine what it's like in Canada, Mexico, South America, Africa, Europe, and you know Russia and China and shit like that.
You gotta tap in.
Crucial.
I didn't realize that was a necklace. I thought it was just dangling off your shirt for a second. Then I was like, wait, bro, got a necklace. I was like, oh, it's funny. It
got
looked like it.
Nug Life, man. I got the bud necklace on. This we got this. I got it at Hempfest. Actually met the dude that made it. He's out of South Carolina.
Yeah, bro. He brings
That's
like
poppin'.
totes of those shits through the airport. He said he's got stopped by TSA
Like,
hella times
man,
thinking
I
they're bringing
bet.
They
the pack.
think it's the pack.
Damn.
He had it in a little bag and he had some in a little jar too. So like it's
Oh,
a mason
yeah.
jar full of
Yeah.
little. He got these in pins too. So it looked like a little bunch of nugs in there.
That's creative though. I like that.
Hell yeah, he's
They
like the only
probably
one that
banging
make
off
them.
too.
Yeah, bro. He's
Come on, man.
a lot of people got these.
Love seeing, you know, just different ideas, executed business ideas, bro.
Right.
And
What's
shit like that, man. It's creation. But
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, man. So that's that with, you know, with the higher stuff and everything. And I'm still an independent artist, you know, but I build with cash, you know. So we're just building.
Oh yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
I do want to talk about the projects that came out. Closer and Drive Theory came out this year.
Yeah.
Is there any like reason why they came out like back to back like they did, and why the covers is like almost similar? Like you just like that center shot, the dope background. Is there like a thought process around that, or was
Man,
it just?
you gotta wait. You gotta stay tuned.
There's more.
Okay.
You know, man. It's
Hell
30,
yeah.
33 degrees to this.
Right. Hell yeah, bro.
But yeah, no, and I mean, I could say it's I'm tapping on different fields, and blending my different little, genres and things I be tapping on, I feel like Drive Theory, there's that kind of mix. It's got some of the little bit of the closer vibes for sure, everything, and then it's got some of the cognitive dissonance vibes, and then some just like some other RAZ vibes, and it was one of those things where Closer did what it did, and I felt like Drive Thru was on a whole different spectrum of it, the whole other side.
Exactly.
And it needed to do what it needed to do.
Right.
The next one, do what it needs to do.
Right.
And it's kind of, because this
feel
is
like
this type of emotion or this type of vibe, I guess, and then this
exactly.
vibe, so.
I feel like a lot of artists do it, probably not even like on purpose, but like for instance, Kendrick Lamar put out To Pimp a Butterfly, which was a completely different album from Damn. But I feel like Damn was kind of like his self-impression. Like, it was more for him. The music that he made was more feeling to him. Mm-hmm. Pimp a Butterfly was more feeling to the people.
For the people, like,
exactly.
Hear this. You might not even want to hear it, but...
Right. And Closer to me, it was more for the people, and I feel like that Drive Theory was a little deeper. It was more like your emotion, and just like, I'm gonna say whatever I want to say. It's not really about like making these hits, but it's more personal than just making it for the fans.
That's a good expression, for sure. Yeah. With Drive Theory, it was one of those things where it's like I'm putting some sounds in here that I know are not sonically pleasing, or not as like playback value. There's certain songs, like, I mean, if you took the words away, I guess, and it wasn't about what I was saying, you took the words away, you could play this one and it might be like, okay, that was cool, I like that was a good sound.
Right.
But I might only play it once or twice, sit aside for a sec, come back to it maybe, but I might not just be bumping it every day,
Exactly.
It's Closer, there's a lot of ones where you could just be like,
bruh,
slapping
just kind of just go, you know what I mean? But it's not like Closer is like skim milk or something.
Right.
It's just that, I'm knowing that like this one just has a little less structure and a little bit more like just more dirty, gritty stuff. And this is more like polished grit. Like they're both dark. Mm-hmm. This one's more colorful. Closer's more colorful and dark.
Right.
It's got the melodic dark and all that stuff. And we talk about similar, same subjects, but in a different way. This is more like a vibe, but with the, whatever. And then this is more like I'm talking to you in your ear right now. Like I like fuck a vibe right now.
The way you just said that, like, if you look at the covers, that explains, like, the Closer is a little more brighter. It's still got them darker, like, purples, and then but then that Drive Theory is like super darker. It's like more personal, like you more of a like focused face on that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
Y'all niggas on some philosophical shit right now.
No, bro, like I can relate.
Crazy, bro. I'm like, who is y'all inspirations growing up? That's crazy, bro.
I'm gonna pass this forum cookies from SPR the other way, man. But yeah, so like, yeah, I like that because I relate. I make music too. Rocked a couple shows and shit. I kind of stopped. I want to get back into it. My partner was like, bro, after this album, I'm going to come focus on you. And da-da-da-da. He was like, you got to make some more music. Yeah. So I've been putting it on the back burner for this, but I like that you putting thought into your albums like that, because my thought on my albums when I was like putting them together was like, I want them to have this type of feel, or I want it to be...
Yeah.
The songs to be structured this way, or I want them to play in this order, and so you think about that kind of stuff. So I feel it when you put that much effort into something,
intentional about it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotta be.
You produce your own music, or you got like
I be producing. I work with other people. I don't even smoke.
Oh yeah, I feel it, bro.
I heard. I was like, go ahead and pass it to me. He might hit it on the show. Oh, good.
Nah, man, I've never even smoked in my life, actually.
Okay.
For real?
Yeah.
What?
It's crazy.
I was about to try to get you to hit the dab and everything.
He'd be over here passed out. Oh man, no, but yeah. So there are other reasons for that though, but yeah, no, what was I saying?
Producing.
Oh yeah, for producing, I work with with cats because My thing is that I can do anything. I always know I could do anything in life. I could do anything in the world, anything. There's nothing that I can't do. But when you're doing things, you got to respect the craft, you know. So there's certain things where it's like everybody want to grow, you know, want to grow marijuana,
Right.
You know, but that don't mean that you can or that you know or that you put the 10,000 hours in.
Right.
You know what I mean? You might grow some stuff and everything molds. You might grow some stuff and you know it all gets eaten up. You might grow some stuff and it's not it.
Right.
But you're sitting there trying to be like, man. Then a lot of what people do is like they put in this many months. I put in this many months. I've been doing this for a year.
Right.
I've been doing this for 2 years. I've been doing this for whatever it is. And then they start, you know, and it's like, bruh, but there's people that have been doing it for 16,
Right.
20, 30,
right
10,
now.
10, you know what I mean? Like, you're playing yourself right now.
Don't disrespect the
think
craft.
that, you know what I mean? So it's like, take that time, you know? So for me, yeah, when I'm tapping into something, I recognize like my main, but I also want to touch so many different things. You know, I got this one life that I know of in this body, so I'm making it count. And for some reason, whatever's been put on my heart is that I got to do a lot of different things in this world. You know, sometimes people ask me like, why don't you do this? Why don't you chill out? Why don't you just go and sit down and like take a vacation with me and like, you know, chill out on it, or like, why don't we just go and live in the woods or you know, shit like that. I'm like, all right, like girl, that sounds lovely and all, but it also sounds like hell. And not on something like I don't like you or love you or whatever it is, but the way that I'm programmed, you know, the way that, you know, God set me up and my heart up is I got to help a lot of people. I got to do a lot of things in this world, you know? So I can't just slow up like that. You know, I gotta move.
You feel like that's your purpose?
And
You help a lot of people?
Yeah, my purpose
good.
is to put as many fishing poles in people's hands and teach them how to use it as possible.
Right.
You know, so that's
like
how it
that.
is, and that's my measure of success. Like, it's not about the money, you know what I mean?
Right.
The money comes because sometimes it is a tool for certain things that I need to do. So the money comes like that, but it's not about the money. You know what I mean? What am I gonna do with this dirty ass money? I don't care, you know?
Right.
So that's how I operate. And but yeah, so with the producing and everything, I'm not gonna sell myself short, even though I can do this. Like, I did the graphic design on my last couple of albums, you know. So I can do this, I can do that, I can record myself, engineer, you know, mix, master, do all the shit. But does that mean that's gonna be the best product for everybody?
Right.
Sometimes
Maybe
two heads
sometimes
better than
it
one.
is because no one's gonna do it the way you're gonna do it and have that attention. So that's why, like, I did do the last, you know, graphic design for my stuff or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or like, I see a vision, it has to come out like this. But the thing is that if I have a team of people and it's like, okay, they know how to do this, they know how to do this. Hold on a second, let me slow this down real quick. This person has put in 50,000 hours over here. I put down, you know, maybe 12,000, or I put whatever it is, you know, but because I was also doing this as well, you know, so if they know how to do this and be more proficient, or like I might sit down and for me to, you know, graphic design and do work on the album and the album inserts and all that stuff, it might take me like a day or like, you know, 5 hours or 3 or whatever it is, and this other person might take them, you know, significantly lower amount of time.
Muscle
because,
memory to them.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
they've been
even
out it
nothing.
doing like this. I gotta be like, man, I gotta dig up the right laptop real quick. I gotta go get that real fast.
Right,
you know, I gotta
right.
do this. Like, you know, so I respect the craft, and so with production, it's not a pride thing. I'm not like, I want to be able to say I did it all myself, you know. So I'm only gonna use my own. No, I got, you know, somebody, like, even if somebody is just able to find a better kick than me or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
throw it on. So, you know, so I be on some co-production stuff, and like that's the only way I see it when you're building with people like that. I want to have a different sound but the same, but that same fingerprint, it has to be me. So that's why I have to touch every beat. You know, even if I'm just doing like what's called post production, it's like that. Like, I'm arranging the whole track. You know, I'm moving everything around. You know, I'm doing the post production. I'm bringing in different sounds, different melodies. I'm bringing in different instruments to play different things that I thought of in my head. Or I'm like, all right, you know, play what you hear real quick, or throw a solo real quick, but then also play this line and this line that I have here, you know, whatever.
Right.
And I'm building with people, and then, you know, the people I build with, they start recognizing how I move and, you know, kind of certain things I'm gravitating towards, or when I say this, they understand what I mean this way, and then it's easier and easier for us to build. Right. But I feel like co-production is like the best way to go. It's just a lot of people, you know, they don't break it down like that.
Right.
You look at, like, even when you look at what's it called? What's the guys that produced Outkast and all those guys that done.
Fuck, I can't remember. I just was bumping some Outkast though.
You know what I'm talking about. But anyways, I watched this whole special on them, and you know, and I've been been seeing them, you know, moving and stuff, growing up and shit like that. But watch a special on them in it's Dungeon Family, and then what's the other one? Anyways, they
Dungeon Family?
they have three I think it's like 3 producers or whatever, and it's like, you know, one cat does the, you know, he really goes in on the drums. Yeah, they fuck with them too. They produce, and they produce like all of this stuff, and it was like all in their basement or whatever. The one dude, the Art of Organized Noise. Yeah. That's yep.
Art of Organized Noise.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, you know, one dude, you know, is like really good with the drums and stuff like that. Other dudes like good with, you know, come up with the melodies and things like that. The other dude was like, it was his grandma's spot, and he was the go-getter and, you know, funding it, paying the money, making sure everything's going, getting the people together, you know, bringing the sounds to the place. And they're a production team,
right?
You know, but when people look at producing nowadays, they got it all kind of fucked up. Like, they don't think about that. They don't think about Quincy Jones.
Right.
You know, they think about just a beat maker, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, I could not touch anything and still produce. Yeah. And, you know, just like a director is, you know, doesn't have to be a videographer.
Right.
You know, but a lot of times, you know, we're doing both. And, you know, I might touch something, and I'm doing it. Yeah, of course, I got to touch everything because I'm going in and I'm doing my thing. But it's like, I feel like people lose sight of that. You know, there's all these different sides to it. Yeah. So when everything I do, of course, I'm always the executive producer because it's my money and my vision behind it.
Right,
you know? And I'm the only one that's putting the money behind it and getting in and doing that. You know, stitching the people together. And then I'm also doing, you know, all the other production when it comes to, because I'm the arrangement. You know, and like in other countries, the arrangement, that is the composer, like the person who arranges it. You know, so. You know, all team effort. Things. And then, I'm over here, we're creating these melodies, and we're all bringing it together. It's a team effort. So that's another thing I was saying is I feel like it do more justice to do videos and show how the things are created so people kind of get it, because throw these labels on it in different places, it means different things. Different countries, this means this and this means that.
Right.
You know, or to different people, when someone says producer, they think this, or when they say beat maker, or they say someone that did the drum, like, it's different things. You know, when someone says executive producer, they think this or they think that. It's not really, sometimes it's very clear, you know. So for me, I'm always just trying to get the best sound. So whoever I got to bring in, you know, I might go through, it might be 20 different versions of the song. Like, I might break the beat apart, you know, take all the elements out of it and then insert different ones.
Right.
Like, that's how I do. Sometimes even with like outsider, like little homies that'll send me stuff, it might sound like shit, but I hear a little melody there. Let's see what we could do. Okay, and that's a weird little sound. Take all the drums off, take all the everything off.
Just that sound.
Redo it and just keep that one sound. Or just replay that sound, you know, and then go
like
for
the
it.
idea,
Have somebody else, you know, come in. And so I be doing different things like that. And that's just.
Does that inspire your music sometimes when you begin those random beat samples or selections that you hear and that one melody sticks out and you like paint a picture in your head of what you
Definitely. That's how like all in my mind came. You know, one of these homies that sent me something, I didn't know him at all. You know, he sent me something and I was like, ooh, okay. You know, and then we just took that and built on it. You know, but it was something where, you know, it wasn't anyone that was like in the camp at that time or anything like that. So it was still just, you know, just a reach. But, you know, he threw up a shot and it came to my inbox, and for some reason I was able to, I heard it. You know, a lot of times she'd be coming to my inbox and I never see it.
Right.
You know, so like luckily I heard it, and then
I think I reached out to you more than once, and we finally. I've reached out to you before.
I never even seen shit.
I know how it goes.
I don't even be on the shit like that, but for some reason I went and I looked in or something like that. I might have been like, you liked something, and I just looked at it, I was like, oh. Okay, they're doing, you know, they're doing their thing. I see them consistently doing this stuff. You know, like that. Like,
appreciate
let's you know, have my people reach back out to these guys. Reach out to them. You know what I mean? First. So yeah.
Hell yeah. A lot of in your music, bro. I always hear the orchestra, the violins, the strings.
Cellos.
Where's that come from, bro?
Stuff.
Like, you like a church boy in your younger days or something? Like,
oh man. I mean, shoot, I kind of was. I used to sing in the church and everything.
Oh, okay.
And
that's where the
like
singing
orchestra
be coming from.
Yeah.
You can hear it in the music.
Yeah. I mean, I used to, you know, really be plugged into the Bible and, you know, just being on my stuff there. I learned how to read from the Bible, you know.
Right.
So it wasn't like everybody's regular experience, I guess, of being like a church boy. You know, I wasn't like a giddy two-shoes.
Right.
But I had like morals, and I was like a man, and I carried myself in a certain way, and that was like what I, you know, and that was a good base as well. I'm not
feel like you grew
I'm
up
rocking
a little
that
faster.
Same way, but that's, you know, that was like a little base. I always had an old soul, you know, so.
Right.
So even before I like started going over towards the dark side, you know, like I
Right.
still had an old soul, you know, about me.
Mm-hmm.
If you look in my eyes or whatever, you know. So man, I think sometimes you get bestowed certain things and certain qualities, you know, you know, when the force, when God, whatever, knows that you're gonna go through certain things, you know. So I
Right,
think that
right.
was just one of those things. And every night I used to pray for wisdom instead of money. It's like that, just like King Solomon, because that was my namesake,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So certain little things like that definitely changed my whole life, you know. So definitely, and with the strings and stuff, man, I'm a sucker for that because, you know, it's like. It just makes it movie-esque and it makes
Them
it makes it
in
a
those in like the end of your songs when you be busting out them solos
oh yeah
with the
yeah
violins, like the end of Massa, and there was another one I was
yeah
just bumping. It was on Closer. The end of it was just all just violent, just
Yeah,
killing it.
yeah. Sometimes the violin, sometimes cello. I've been,
Cello too.
yeah. I started off with the cello, even back. Oh man, shoot, back when I was still a teen. You know, I got a cello player, and she was filthy, and I started building on that, and then I've always been just in love with them strings. So once you put it in, you lace it, it's just like, damn.
I'm
bro.
always curious how much of those strings and those orchestrated sounds are live recorded.
All of them.
All of
All
them.
of them are
Yeah.
live.
Bruh, that is fucking dope to me. Like
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Like
real
I
you
music.
know,
I'll contract out different people and I'll hit them up and I will, you know, I pay good money to
that's
get this shit. I
fucking
pay them
dope,
by the
bro.
hour.
Yeah, I was
Some cats be charging some cats are like, oh yeah, well, my rates are $1,000 an hour for their
Right,
stream.
right.
Some cats 500, some cats, you know, some cats 100, you know, different things or whatever, you know. So like I'm not taking no shorts.
when
I'm not
they
taking any
come
shorts
in,
when it comes to music.
is it more like just lay a lick down, or is it like, hey, I want this melody
These
this
bars,
way, or
this
you know,
tempo.
how does that go?
Definitely more so starts like I want this and you know I want this melody, you know. Sometimes it'll be okay, I want you to play this at this place. But my thing is I like to let people be creative
Themselves.
and like feel like they're just, you know, going in and doing the thing. Knowing that in the post I'm going to move it wherever I'm moving.
Right.
So as long as I got that sound that I wanted, then I'm moving it here. So I've
Yeah.
already in my head I already know I want this right here. But they don't necessarily have to just just play this right here. You know, no. You know, here's the whole stretch of the whatever. You can play it anywhere, you know.
Yeah.
But then also show me whatever feels you got because you're the one that's put in this 10,
Right.
20,000
Bruh.
hours on this.
That's
I
just
didn't.
dope.
So I could be like and then if I just had you play that, you could be stuck in a box because you might go and pull out this, you know, shit that we
Right.
never even heard that I didn't even think of to do
Yeah.
it. And then it's like I'm missing out on your ear and your touch and your, you know, and your not even just your skill set, but your, you know, creative bend that you've been building since you were young. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's very. I like it to at least let it appear and be very like open and let it be that for
Right.
the person that's doing that, and then later I take what I need and the nutrients that are still gonna be me. Anything that's not me or takes away from conveying the story that I'm
Right,
conveying
right.
and the vibe that I'm, you know, then we'll put it over here. You know, set
Right.
it aside, mute it. You know, save it. Maybe use it for later. Who knows?
Exactly.
Right.
But like that, you know.
I made
so
a couple beats
very intentional though.
back in my day where I kind of did that same thing where I had like some keys, some you know, some drums and some crazy little sounds.
Yeah.
And then shit, my brother, like, he know how to play the guitar a little bit. So I'm like, bro, come, you know, just feel this beat that I made and just strum some shit out real quick.
Yeah.
And then I'm a freak it, and you know, when he recorded it, he was like, bro, this sound like shit. Like but he not hearing the vision. He not hearing the vision that I'm really like, yo, I'm about to cute like. And then I brought it back to him. He said, boy, this don't sound nothing like it. He was like, this is crazy, bro.
Nah,
I was
exactly.
like, and so when you hear that end result, bro, that shit is
Yeah.
priceless, bro.
I think it's one part, you know, like leading the orchestra, and then another part, you know, pulling samples. I mean, think about it. Like any of the cats that, you know, in hip hop that are the greats that we think of, producers or whatever, like they weren't asking the people that they got the samples from, hey, play this like this.
Right,
No,
right.
they were taking what
they
that
got.
beautiful whatever that was and working with what they had.
Exactly.
You know, so it's like part that and part I get to do whatever I want. I get to talk to these people because it's all original. We're creating this. So we're creating this vibe.
Right.
So, you know, and then a lot of times it's a communication because I'm always letting them build off of whatever I already created.
Exactly.
So I already have this piece. Now I'm bringing it to you. Now you're vibing with what the vibe that I was already creating. And then after you do all that, then I'll say, okay, I also have this thing that I want you to play. Because I don't want to have you play that and then now you take it a whole different direction because you're trying to pander to what I want.
Right.
You know, because I'm hiring you to do this, so you're trying to do this, you know, so nah. And then also like most of the cats I work with, I always work with them for free first. You know, so because I like to know that the people I work with will want to do it even if I wasn't paying them. You know,
Right.
So and then yeah, I mean I be plugging everybody into different things too. So it's like it's still never free because I just hooked you up with this or that or whatever. You know,
hooked you up with him, got you here, you did this, and
yeah, like you know, like one of the cats that does stuff with me or whatever. Brought him on tour, got him introduced to this guy, got him plugged in with all these other people, got on all these different other songs and stuff like that. Got a song with Macklemore now, you know, it's not just playing, but also singing and doing, you know, stuff like that. So it's like, you know, I'm always plugging people in all the while, and but I also want to know that people are there, you know, for some other reasons that aren't just money, you know. There's a whole Quincy Jones article that came out like a few months back or whatever. And one of the things that really struck me, he said a lot of shit. He spent a lot of tea on people, but like and dead people too. Like he was going in, but one of the things he was saying is like whenever money gets brought up, God walks out of the room. And when you're creating music, whenever money gets brought up, God walks out of the room.
I feel like that's with any business, you know deal you doing. You gotta real like right there.
You know what I mean, and it's like I get what he's saying. Like, nah, yeah, he's made money off of music, but I know what he's saying. You know,
right.
And he's also he's like an atheist or something like that, but you get what he's saying, what he's meaning by that. You know, it's like, yeah, when you're here to build this music and build the best thing, it's not here to just like let's create this packaged up thing that's gonna work. How much money am I gonna get off from it? Okay, how much? Okay, now let's create.
Yeah. Plus, when you hear that type of shit, that like steer people away, bro. Like you get to talking like, oh, I just want this. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get this song right first before we get paid. What you mean?
Right, for sure, bro.
You know? Yeah.
But no, you got some dope collabs too. Like that Troy Ave is crazy, and it's hella dope to see like people from my city. You feel me? Like be touching these, you know, mainstream artists or these guys that are, you know, on the TVs and
like
you know,
said, put in the time and the hours,
right?
As they say, yeah.
And
I appreciate it.
How did that come along though? Like how you link up with Troy Ave?
That's one of the bros homies, you know, and so they've been doing stuff like a lot of the things I have. It's like that, like you know, one of the bros had been, you know, dealing with so and so on this level, and so now you know he's around now. We deal with him on this level or whatever,
That's
you know,
dope.
like so it's a lot of good things like that, you know. So not even where I had to like bread someone in, you know, just yet. So.
That's dope.
But I understand that too, you know. Like at first, I didn't understand paying for features, you know. So I haven't done it, you know, like on that and put something out like that yet. But I understand it now, and I respect it, because the thing is that, you know, I used to look at it like, man, oh, they're just gonna look at you like a jug. How could you ever elevate from that? Da 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 da. But I mean, nah, it's not like that. The way that it is like when you see, hey, when you take my name and you bring it here. You know, now you can directly get this many sales off of my name or this many streams off of my name. My art, my fans are gonna come and listen to this. You know, you get 1 million streams. You know, that's like $3,000 to $5,000 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like or whatever the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? Depending on which kind of you got going or what outlet. You know what I mean? You know, so it's like now it's a whole different thing. You know, that person that you can monetize this relationship that you created. You know what I mean? And it's up to you too. The only thing is a lot of times people get a lot of features and they don't connect, they don't hit. They thought that, man, if I put this feature out, I got so and so, he's one of the biggest artists now, it's gonna blow. And you look and you know their feature got like less than 1,000 plays on it or whatever, you know. I've
seen that too many times.
Yeah, a lot of times, and it's like you gotta have the leverage. So like for me, I've been putting in so much shit on my own stuff, and you know, and so cats understand there's a base, you know, there however underground it is or whatever it is, you know, a lot of people are always like, man, RAZ is the most underrated artist, most underrated artist out this way, or da da da. Period. And shit like that. I hear that so many times, and I like it. I like hearing that. I'm not mad at it. But the thing is that with that, there's still awareness that has been created and this base that's been built. So it's like I have this leverage. So if I do bring someone on board that is up over here in this other section that I haven't even touched yet, or you know, or more mainstream, or whatever, got a bigger base underground, whatever it is, you know what I mean, or in a different area. That leverage gets people excited because it's not just like I just started the other day, or I haven't built those fans. So to be able to do that, now all the fans get excited, and then you know if it meshes right and everything, then these people over here are like, whoa, who's this new artist? Oh, I like him. And vice versa, and then it's like boom, you got something, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, and I used to not want to do collabs, period, because I just wanted to make sure that I had my own fingerprint. I didn't want to co-sign any kind of shit that people were saying.
That's
you
that
know
J. Cole shit.
Like, and not even on some shit like that. I'm like, you know, like I didn't want to, but yeah, like I didn't want to do, you know, create something with somebody and then, you know, create something and then somebody gets on it and then they take it in a different direction, and that wasn't my soul. Now that's not what I was doing.
Exactly.
Slash, I didn't want to be saying some shit. Now they get on there, yeah, man, pull the chop out and I chop.
Like, we not even talking about that right now, bro.
This
song for the bitches.
Right? No, that too. A lot of times people be trying to extrapolate, you know, because they think like, oh, right, you know, whatever. But like, it's like I don't want you getting out here and trying to rap my life, you know, or whatever. Like, I want you just being real,
be
you know,
yourself.
like whatever it is. So you know, so sometimes I straight away like I don't want to be co-signer for somebody else, and people are like, so you don't want to do a song with Rick Ross? Like, hey, he be co-signing you. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to co-sign him. You know what I mean? Like, and like not even saying like him. I don't know him from his out at all.
Right,
He's probably a cool dude. But what I'm saying is just like anybody, you know, giving that example, like anybody even in that realm, that's how I was looking at it. You know, now I look at it like, hold on a second, Raz. Think about all the fucking shit that you've done, to all the dark shit that you've done, you know, do or whatever, to attain something more positive. You know, you have a positive intention. You're trying to get this, and think about how many times you've been Robin Hood and all the shit that you've done. And then it's just like, damn. But then when I come to my music, I'm over here like a righteous prophet as far as like I'm not gonna break this rule. I'm not finna let nobody come over here and do this. It's gonna be really like. But then you go over here, you know, fucking sell a baby Oxycontin or something. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so it's like
I don't want to be a part of that.
Right.
Not that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, you know, I definitely got rules and regulations when it comes to like any kind of shit. But like, I don't do.
Got
lots of shit that I don't do. You know what I mean?
Right.
But just sitting there thinking like, damn, all this shit. Like, hold on a second. Think about this real quick. Is it more of a pro or con? You know, if you end up doing this song with this cat, and he ends up like his street report is like it is not the best, or like he did somebody this way or whatever. You know, what's worse? You know, that you were on the song with this cat and he skipped out on his plug or whatever, or some shit like that at one point in his life, or he's lying about whatever kind of, you know, doings he's doing. Is it worse? Is that so much of a con, or this cat having millions of fans and millions of people that are listening to all this bullshit and really fucking with it, you know? But now you're able to be on that platform that he's on, and now they see you, and now they might go and fuck with your shit and really hear some real shit. So which one outweighs? And I'm like, okay, it definitely outweighs, because I'm trying to build with the people and get to the people. So, you know, this person might really just be a figure. Person might just be a, you know, whatever, and they might be on some weird shit. So hopefully if they're on some good shit, then it's a win-win. And if they were on some, their human doesn't connect with the music, then, you know, it's still a win over here, and it's a bigger win than the loss. Right. You know, so like I had to kind of break that down and be like, okay, hold on. It's like, Raz, like, you know, fall back real quick, think about that. And then, you know, so now it's like, no, you know, I like collaborating and all that stuff. And
you be traveling too, bro. I see your Instagram be Guadalajara, UK, all types of shit. I'm like, boy, you getting all them crazy shots. Your music videos are spectacular, bro. I just got to give you that, bro.
Bringing me to my next question, Black Umbrella, like, they are just been killing it for a minute. How'd that get put together?
Man, I mean, Black Umbrella started out as like a brotherhood, and like, you know, on some like, you know, some mob shit, you know, money and all that stuff and everything, and then it was like, well, shoot, I mean, you know, we're doing this music thing as well. We should put some more weight on it, you know, and you know, not necessarily less weight on this, but let's put some time in on this, and then that's what it was, and we started building off that, and then it became a music collective, you know, because I'm never like trying to have a slave, you know. So like it became more of a music collective, but then people were trying to like really get at us, and like all these labels were trying to sign and come at me and everything like that. Like every label in the game I could think of, like even as weird as like Shady Records came at me trying to sign me, you know. But like all the regular big ones you could think of and shit, you know. And so then I was like, oh shit, we gotta hunker down. Let me, you know, hit up these lawyers and and build it out a little bit, and then it kind of, you know, build it out to be a label a bit. But I still, the way that I rock, like I still don't. I'm not charging cash things, you know. I'm not like, you know, yeah, like we have this agreement, this or whatever. But I'm like, man, keep your money, bro. Like we're building. That should have come later. And then the main goal would just be to feed the workers that are working on your behalf, you know. Like for me, it's like that's not. I ain't become an artist to get rich. You know what I mean? Like that's not why I do this. You know, we're over here talking about other, you know, business, entrepreneurial efforts and things like that. And that we would be somewhere. It's like, okay, we make something out of this. But even that, I still have, you know, my morals and the way that I work and how I operate. And even then, again, my measure of success is not how much money I can get. It's how many fishing poles I can put in people's hands and train them how to use it. You know?
How many lives you can touch in the process, too.
I was just about to say that, bro.
Exactly. And that's
everyone's having a bad day.
Touch a bunch
of
lives.
Touch them.
Exactly. Able to, you know, able to feed their family and so on and so on, and teach somebody else, and then they can feed their family. You know, it's like that Tupac thing where it's like I might not be the person that does, but I might, you know, I'm gonna be the voice that sparks the, you know, whatever. The next person, Yep. It's similar to that, you know, and also just like plugging in deeper and deeper and trying to, you know, really put on people.
You fuck with a lot of people too. Like, what's your relationship with like Morgang? And I see you fuck with Fatal. Fatal's like, he don't know, but like Fatal his name just been around. He like to me, he like one of them people you just hear about. Like he was just in a lot of shit back in the day. A nigga like OG status. Like, but I never had seen Fatal. Like I probably seen him.
You meet him, he's like
in
4'2".
In a couple, he was shorter than I thought. He was like, but he be with like a couple people or whatever. When I seen him, and then like I didn't really, you know, reconcile that like that's Fatal. That's who everybody be talking about. But then when I see him, like hearing that he make music a little more, and like just seeing his videos and the progression, I'm like, that's the guy. Yeah, he's really in it,
bro. Like I mean, Faye, he's definitely really in it. And I was just with Faye yesterday, the day before me. I've been up for like 4 days in a row. And you know. I've been wearing the same outfit for the last week, bro. Like, give myself trap showers and shit. But change my boxers out. That's about it. Wear socks if I'm lucky. Got my little boxer socks bag in my passenger seat right now. You know, so I'm not nasty nigga. Right.
He's trapped.
My Steve Jobs though, but what's it called? Yeah, it's kind of. I get a little upset because a lot of cats don't want to give Faye the credit that he deserves, or they want to act like he wasn't who he was and not recognize, you know.
He's for sure a factor,
you know?
bro. Yeah.
No, for sure he's a factor, you know. The fans see it, you know, other people in the town on a street level, you know, people see it and everything like that, you know. But I also see a lot of cats that want to, you know, be like, well, you're not on the block right now,
right?
You know, and it's like, nigga, the fuck do you?
That's that shit.
Bro, it's like, you know,
I ain't trying to be there right now, nigga.
Man, got some shit to do. And if you really knew, you know what I mean, but it's like, man, you know, just that type of stuff. I see that a lot where you know, whether it's a younger generation, even a generation that's a year younger, you know, or a couple years younger, or whatever, won't recognize, you know, the cats that came before them and they're really putting it down, you know, blood, sweat, and tears and all that stuff, or, you know, or whether it's someone else that it's like, it's almost, you know how, I mean, shit, you take your passport somewhere, it might not be good here, or like, but it's good here.
Yeah.
Because they don't know you, or they don't, you know, whatever, you know, things like that. I hate seeing that. I see that a lot. Where I see like cats are like real individuals, but they are from a different side of town or a different block in the same area or whatever. And since they're, you know, it's like their reference isn't good over here, or you know, and then cats don't even want to give them a chance, you know.
Right.
I see a lot of that. Like that's how a lot of different beefs get started up and things as well, you know. And it's sad because you know I'm from where I'm from or whatever. I'm from the 8, but. But even before that, I've been out here getting money and getting into, you know, getting whatever, doing my thing. And, you know, I'm always on some, like, fuck all that shit. Because, you know, like, no, I'm a stand for my bros. But my bro also might be somebody over here as well. And so like people know how I get down. Like I'm a serious dude. Like I protect my own. It's like that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I'm a savage, but at the same time, I'm an actual boss. So I'm sitting there and I'm not like a little runner. I'm not a little, I'm not one of these little guys, these little torpedo kids that's just out here trying to shoot, random people or shit like that. Like I'm not trying to do all that. Like I said, if it needs to happen or whatever, I'm sharp and shit. But I'm not bloodthirsty either.
Bro.
You know what I mean? When I was younger, I did have some of that, and I recognize it. So that's why I can't be mad at cats. But it's like that's not what we're about right now,
And once you get bro, like
hearing all these different
gang
things.
life, all that nigga, man, the shit get old. Like when you get older, you gotta, if you become somewhere, you gotta realize that the shit's for life. But when you start growing up, and you got other shit to do, bro. When it comes all down to it, you got shit to do,
and you want to build your brothers in the right direction,
Exactly.
Instead of like putting guns into the other kids' hands, like they, like cats was doing to us, like go hit them up real quick. I'd rather put, hey man, like, so this is how you really start a business.
Right.
I mean? You might be out here doing this stuff, and I can't tell you nothing about that, But I can tell you, all right, maybe do it like this and like this and like this, because that's
some of the realest shit my big homie told me before he moved out of the state. He was like, bro, he straight up apologized, like straight up, bro, I'm sorry, my nigga, I love you, dog, and I'm sorry I ain't teach you the right way when we was younger, hitting licks and doing the most, He was like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, straight looked me in my eyes and was like, nigga, I should have had your back. Nigga, we should have been doing what we doing right now then. 4, 5, 6 years ago when we first met. And I was like, damn, bro. That's the realest shit I ever heard from him. I was like, bro, you really my bro. And I already know, and that's why I peeped what he used to tell me. Like, he used to try to preach it to me, but then it was like, bro, let's go to the hood day. Or they, because whatever about to pop
he got
off.
a good core.
Right. So
I've been there too. I've been that guy. I've been on both.
So when I was just growing up, I'm just like peeping it. I'm like, I see what you're trying to show me, and me having the right mind. Anyways, I'm like, I got an older brother, always been preaching the same thing to me too. Like, bro, that shit, after so long, you gotta get off there and really do something with your life. And so my dad the same way, like, do something with your life. Mom the same way, do something with your life. And I start seeing like, that gang life ain't for for everybody, and it's not nothing to play with, bro. Like, you gotta be better than that. So for all my little homies out there I grew up with, like, be better than that. That shit is serious, my nigga, and it ain't nothing to play with.
Definitely. Like,
I feel it.
I do have a handful of cats, like some of my like little bros / some of the girls that that we've been dealing with, where I have those thoughts where I'm like, damn,
Right.
We are working with what we had, but it's like sometimes I recognize, like, shit, I was being like a major tyrant. Like, I was
a little reckless.
Like, I was just, just going in, and I look back, I'm like, who is that guy? You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm still a savage. It's always there, but that's why I was like, I rushed and I tried to get a little nap today, because I know, like, because when I was like that at my prime of like savagery and like kind of almost evilness or whatever, it was when I was going and not getting sleep. I was going in and not getting. I'd stay up for 2 weeks, like, literally, and not even be hallucinating.
Right.
But that's the thing.
Crazy.
But that's when it's like, nigga, you were crazy, because you probably were hallucinating and you didn't even know it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many stories of people telling me certain things I did and I didn't.
Lucid
and I don't even
dreaming
remember
and shit,
that
bro.
I did them.
Mm-hmm.
I never done any drugs. I only sold drugs. Like, I've never done any. And so it was all like just that sleep deprivation. Like, I've had cats, like, even to this day, even earlier in the year, and man, that would be like, man, remember that time, man, last time I saw you, and I'm just looking at them like, nah. And then they have to say some more things, and like somewhere out of nowhere, it'll start clicking, and like that memory is like was somewhere hidden in my brain and starts pulling back, and I'm like, damn.
Right.
And I'm still like, I didn't do that. That's not me. I wouldn't do that.
Shit, right.
You know what I mean? Like, nigga.
Oh, me.
But then there's enough little situations where I seen, like, because I can be like, I can be like a Jesus, you know, and all kind and all that stuff and everything, a hippie, all that, and then I can also be Denzel from Training Day,
Right.
and that's literally like what it is. Like you hop in the car, all right, hey, what's going on? Like, hey, we're about to hold this real quick. Yeah, come on, hop out right now. And then,
right.
And then like, fuck did you? Like
Right,
man,
exactly.
yeah, bro.
It
Like
gets
the
real,
way
bro.
the way that you know, and it's like so we're recognizing that, and it's like I had to recognize like hormones are a huge thing. Your brain is such a huge thing. Like there's so many different things where you might have positive intentions, you might be a great person, but you're going through this thing or whatever it is. You know, like even our frontal lobe. You know, when you see cats drinking, you're like, what the fuck? But you don't think like, why is he doing that? Why is he just pulling his dick out and like
Right.
humping a bush right now? Or why is he peeing out the car window like he's drunk? Okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like dumbass nigga. I don't do that when I get drunk.
Right.
Fuck? But
Right.
you still get like he's drunk. But thing is that like that's when you drink that alcohol, it fucks up with your frontal lobe, you know, which is the front of your brain, you know, that part that controls your reasoning. That's the part that a lot of animals have a lot less of, or hardly any type, you know, whatever. And so when you think about that, that's the same thing that's going crazy and getting out of whack throughout our adolescence all the way up until when we're about like 25, 24, 25, maybe older, you know,
Right.
people different whatevers, you know what I'm saying? So like, but we don't look at it like, oh no, this serious. Like this little nigga is like drunk, the equivalent of drunk.
Right,
We just
right.
look at it like you're a fucked up person, or you're fucking up, nigga. Like da 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 da. But it's like some of that shit is like, imagine telling them that and trying to have a logical conversation with someone who's like drunk or blacked out drunk. It don't work
do
like
it.
that,
Don't
you
work.
know. And it's the same thing when it comes to different mental illnesses and things like that. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I dealt with so many, like, you know, me, you know, being on my street shit and being on my P shit and all this stuff and everything. Like, I dealt with so much different people where it's, you know, all the type of manic depression, bipolar, you know, so many different types of bipolar, so many different multiple personality disorder things where, you know, I got people that are different people at different times of the day, or different people at different times of the year, or they gain a new personality throughout life when certain things happen, or certain traumas happen, or whatever, when they need certain escapes and things like that. People that got like 22 different people that they shift back and forth from, or they have like this many people that are talking to them. Sometimes they got people talking to them. Sometimes they're those people. You know what I mean? So like dealing with so many different things like that, and then even just like dealing with women and dealing with men and seeing the difference in the hormones like that. You know, the differences in what I build with longevity. So like most of the people I build with for so long, so I get to see them as they're growing. And me as I'm growing, and I'm seeing them go from this, and how their hormones are changing, how that's affecting the way that they move and how they operate, you know. And we don't give enough credit to those things. You know, a lot of people that are killing themselves, hormones were off. This was off. It's not. That's not just like they're like, you know what, logically this makes sense. I'm about to, you know, I ain't shit.
Yeah.
I'm about to do this. You know what I mean? Like it's not like that. It's so many other things at play.
Right.
You know, when you think, if you've ever been in a place where you felt like killing yourself or like killing someone over something that was stupid, you know, you think back, you're like, damn, nigga, like that made no sense. I'm glad I didn't kill that nigga, or I'm glad I didn't kill myself at that point, because that was for nothing. You know what I mean?
You think about how small that whatever that situation was, and then you really start thinking how big the consequences were compared to that. And
But
then
that's
you're
in
just
hindsight,
like,
you know.
Exactly.
Imagine, and there's so many of us that don't catch that. There's so many times I haven't caught it.
Right.
So many times that I know other people haven't caught it, and there's so many people that are dead now. That
A
didn't
lot
catch
of
it.
people are talking about that too. Like, I feel like when you get older, you realize that, but when you young, you don't realize it. So now we got like this generation of, you know, the kids where they like still not getting it, but they to the point where the people that's older and realize it, talking about it so much that the next generation hopefully has that embedded in. Because I find myself remembering like, damn, that's what my mom was talking about, don't do.
Right.
And so now if I tell my kids, like, then they shouldn't, you know, make that. But on a mental scale, if we train them to protect that, you know, that frontal of their brain where they're controlling their decisions and shit a little better, that's the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so much too, and I wish I had all the answers, because it's like,
For real.
you gotta understand it, but that's a whole lot of understanding to
Right,
have
right.
for a whole long time.
Yeah.
You know, to understand. Okay, I understand you're a drunk, you know, little adolescent right now, and it's gonna be like that until you're 20 something, almost damn near 30. But all right, you know what I mean? Like, and then you know, also that's the other thing too, is like, a lot of people that have these quote unquote disabilities or whatever, gifts, whatever you want to call them, it's like they had to figure out how to maneuver it, and a lot of people don't ever get it, but then sometimes people do. I've seen people do that, have matured, and they kind of figure out, like, it kind of got a little bit of a grasp on their stuff to where they understand it when it comes up now.
Right.
They get it. It still happens, but they get it and they can maneuver it a little bit differently, and have a different mindset, about it and everything like that. So, but I wish I had to, like, oh yeah, just do this. It's just that good. Yeah. Oh yeah, here you go. But it's like everybody got to find that on their own, and they also got to want to find it. And that could be hard. Like, I know people that are sociopaths that don't have any empathy. They can't understand your pain. They don't feel your pain. You know what I mean? A lot of those people, you got a lot of people that are psychopaths and, that like take that to another step, and they're just like,
people don't understand that shit's mental illness too. Like,
but there's also, exactly. But there's also people that are sociopaths that are great people.
Great people, yeah.
And that's all. That's like, damn. What kind of excuse do you have? You're not even a sociopath. Right? You're not a great person. But but like with cats like that, I've seen that, and it's like, whoa. I didn't know that. I was just thinking like a sociopath. They don't have no empathy. They don't feel how I feel. Like they don't care about how I feel. Like that would suck to accidentally be around someone like that, whatever, and I know that we have, but then I recognize, I'm like, nah, that's not the end all, someone cannot feel your pain, and, cannot understand you feeling because they can only understand how they feel, but still want you to feel good, and it's a weird thing because you think like, why? But
it's like
but it's
therapy.
Like how can you transfer it? But there is that, and where they're like, no, I still want to be a good person to the people around me, and it's for whatever reason, but it's not, it's a little different than how some of us other people are wired, but yeah, so it's just different things like that. But I wish I had like a magic pill or a switch or something like that for everybody to switch on, but there's no cookie cutters situation out here.
And the hard part about it is we gotta kind of it's kind of word of mouth. We kind of just gotta keep talking and preaching, and just practicing what we preaching too, and just showing them, because it's not only just talking, it's showing them, and just keep drilling into people's heads. People like you, where you reaching out to hella people, all the time, like you said, putting people on, just trying to have as many people under you, or not even under you, but just with you, and making a difference. Yeah. The more people you talk to, the more they gonna talk to somebody else, and word gets spread, and then maybe we'll get some act
right. No, it's just real. It's real.
Hell yeah.
Checking ourselves, checking each other, Self-awareness and iron sharpening iron.
Well, man, thank you for coming through, bro. Like, I really appreciate you being solid and, like, humble, and just, we are up and coming. We've been doing this for like a year now. Podcasts kind of just start rolling and shit, so we really appreciate you coming on and, being part of the show, man.
You different, bro.
I'm honored, bro. I'm honored to be the first artist out here.
First
artist on the show, man.
I met a lot of people in my life. Like I said, I traveled in a lot of places. You are a little bit different than anyone I've ever met.
Right.
Man, that's an honor, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah, your music, like, it's super powerful, and then you like real humble dude, bro. Like,
hell yeah,
it's just cool.
That's the only way to be.
I appreciate that shit, bro. Me, bro.
You guys are humble fellas.
Man, it might be that good as we smoking, we be chill. Right. Nah, but it's all love, bro. Thank you for coming out. You want to shout out any new projects coming out, or your Instagram handles, all that? Let them know.
It's RAZ Simone, RAZ space SIMONE, RAZ Simone. That's on all the handles, /RAZ Simone, @RAZ Simone.
Yep.
Just put out Drive Theory, put out Closer earlier than that. Go check out those. Catch up. Go get Cognitive Dissonance Part 1 and 2, and Sullivan Sandwich Simone.
Yep.
And, the whole catalogs, 5 Good Reasons, all the shit.
Just
and all
hit
the
that
stuff,
iTunes account.
And then what's it called? Also, a shout out to Black Umbrella.
Yes.
For so long I always kind of keep things under wraps and stuff like that, and I'm not ever shouting it out like that. But it's a different season right now. So man, right. Black Umbrella, that's what it is. We got a couple few cats on there. My guy Anthony Danza, my guy Fatal Luciano, my guy Leezy, King Lee's, whatever King Lee's, 50, Sam the Child, all that and everything, still rocking the way we rock. And yeah, so I mean,
Damn, you just named off some town factors, bro.
Man, it's a different thing. We've had some cats that like fell to the wayside and done their different things. Some people that just are doing their own thing, and other people that are just disrespectful weirdos.
Right.
And so right now, we're pushing the line. It's Black Umbrella, and that is what it is. That's how I'm coming. So
hell yeah.
Also, we got Fast. I didn't say Fast. My guy Fast. He's been a blessing. He just got out.
Bodies?
He's on Bodies.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my guy on Bodies. Yep. He got a project coming out. Garden of Roses is dedicated to my niece, his daughter that got killed.
Yeah, that's
tragic. Elijah forever.
My condolences.
They shot her in the head. On some trying to be on some hood shit,
right?
Anything like that, and it's not good money. But yeah, Elijah forever. That's good money. And so he got that coming out soon here in a second. He just dropped a video just a bit ago, and he's building on it.
Yeah.
And then he wanted to just do it in an organic fashion, not even push it, just kind of put it out there. That's how he felt. Fado's got a new project coming out. He got hella projects in the
just guy.
Nice. Loaded. He got a project.
Drop that
Kalido,
shit, bro.
He got a project. He got a bunch of different things coming up right now. So he's about ready to start dropping that. I mean, he been ready, but he's about to start dropping that. King Lee's got a new project as well. Be coming out here in a second too.
Oh yeah,
man. Everybody got a lot of shit right now.
Man, I like that shit, bro.
Countries
the
and
town, bro, been
Lee's
doing
just
work,
got back from Paris. He just went out to Paris. Yeah, I just tapped to him yesterday. We were riding around stuff like that. He was like telling me he took a cruise from Finland to Sweden.
Boys on some form.
Like this, flex on.
The first time he went out of the country, he went with me. So I felt some prideful about that. Being able to get bro out the shit and everything.
Break him in.
And then and now he's out here moving and wiggling without us.
Right. Like, hey, I'm off to Paris.
Where you at? Yeah, I'm out here. I'm feeling real different. Right. So that's good money, man. It just makes all of us smile and get excited. It's fun. So he went and did a few shows out there and really linked in with cats. Took over some of the little cities out there and everything. It's moving around. So I got a few projects ready to come too.
Oh yeah. Well, we waiting on that, man.
So it's
appreciate it.
Yeah, as it is,
keep dropping that good music.
Got
bro.
Antoine Vincent doing all his stuff. He just produced the whole album for Gabby. Gab's always been a family, family member. She been black.
I love her shit,
black
bro.
She was telling you, but she more gang too. But she was Black Umbrella first.
Right.
Hey, man, some people, her hood hoppers.
Bag.
I'm always giving Gabby shit, but she's the homie.
She fucking with Blimes now too. They got that Method really Man hit, bro.
That's a really good lick.
Driving me crazy. Like I'm like, this is music right here, man. Gab her sound is official, bro. Man, we gotta tap in with Gab.
Sharpening,
man,
for sure.
She's
on top of her shit too, man. She got some shit coming.
Yeah.
So man, and Blimes seem like really good people too. So I was super glad that they make that connect.
Right.
Because that's able to push it.
Man, that video in front of the Applebee or the Red Apple.
Red Apple, yeah.
Classic, bro.
More
Right before they closed it, bro. I grew up in the city, bro. My dad still owned a house in the city right by the basketball court. Like, literally.
Congratulations.
Right before the bend. Yeah, right before the bend, before you go to get, the Frank's Bakery and shit. That bend right there, right there, bro. I grew up in that area, so to see that, I was like, man. They should have went down to Parnell's real quick and did a quick little scene there too.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah,
right there. No, for sure, man. So yeah, man, it's some good things, man. Everybody's just like tightening the circle and really just recognizing and appreciating the family that we have, and appreciating people that abide by, have a certain moral set, and abide by those laws that are there to, make sure everybody around you is good money.
Right.
Not everybody is set up like that,
Right.
So so it just makes you appreciate the people around so much more, for sure. And man, it's been good money. We're about to got a lot of crazy things coming up. When you're talking about different little exciting features, you're talking, bro, you don't even know.
Well, we can't wait to hear that shit, bro. Y'all stay tuned. Tap in with RAZ Simone. Tap in with Mac and Shak TV. You can find me the official Mac Ty on Instagram.
You can find me at Shak101.
You can find both of us,
Mac and Shak TV.
This is
Y'all
The
practice
first,
that shit.
the first
Yeah,
minute.
bro.
Yeah, yeah.
We got that shit down, bro. We got that shit down.